We're good to go?
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
I didn't catch that.
We're good to go,
Proceed,
Mr. Warden.
You're good to go.
Okay. Thank you very much, and welcome everybody to our special meeting of September 25th on YouTube, virtual again, but it's very handy to do some of these things for one issue that we need to discuss, and it's an easy way to get everybody together, and everybody's busy. So I want to welcome you, and I'll ask Madam Clerk for a call to order resolution.
It's moved by Councillor Landry, seconded by Councillor St. Pierre, that the special meeting of the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry be hereby called to order.
Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? I've got Councillor Broad and Councillor St. Pierre. All those in favor?
If I may interrupt, Mr. Warden, is everyone suffering audio problems or is it just me?
I seem to be hearing everybody fine. Anybody else having an issue?
Good over here.
No.
I'm good.
It must just be on your end there, Councillor Fraser.
My end, thank you.
We can hear you fine, though. All right, all those in favor, I'm going to ask again. I would kind of want to take
In favor.
Yeah. All right, that looks like pretty well, everybody. Thank you. Approval of the agenda, Madam Clerk.
It reads that Council approve the agenda.
Anybody have anything, any changes or anything to the agenda? Seeing none, I get a mover and a seconder, please. I got Councillor McDonald from North Stormont and Councillor Gaindo. All those in favor?
In favor.
Thank you. That's carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll move on. And before we get to staff, I just want to say, Councillor Fraser, hopefully you can hear us fine. We've been thinking of you this week. You guys have had quite an issue up there, and I'm hopeful that this rain is helping to solve it. But I think Councillor Fraser might be frozen. All right, so we'll go on to the Cass Bridge design detail, full closure versus staging, and Mr. Harper and Mr. Bunnell.
Okay, we'll just pull up the presentation. Hoping everybody can see that okay.
It looks good. Got an echo. I'm thinking it might be Councillor Fraser.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to shut down something.
Turn down your volume.
Well, give me 1 second. Bear with me.
All right, go ahead, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you, Warden, and members of County Council for attending today's special meeting. This meeting was called to discuss a potential future bridge project known as Cass Bridge on County Road 31 and the implications of a full road closure versus stage construction. Today's objective is to gather feedback from County Council on the level of service that they're wanting to provide along County Road 31 for the traveling public, so that the transportation services can move forward with a detailed design for construction and ultimately a tender. So now I'll pass it over to Matt to talk about some of the specifics and transfer it now.
Good morning, County Council, and thank you for being able to meet today to discuss the options around the Cass Bridge. So just a little background on the bridge. Cass Bridge is tied for actually our second longest structure in our inventory. It's located on 31 just north of Hollister Road in the township of North Dundas. While it is located in North Dundas, it is very much agreed that it's a connecting link between North and South Dundas en route to the city of Ottawa. SDG 31 is a very busy area with specific locations, seeing approximately 5,000 cars per day. The structure was constructed in 1971 and has seen several repairs since its original construction. So here's a nice snapshot of the Cass Bridge looking down the South Nation River.
Your screen hasn't changed any.
No.
We're still on your opening page.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Let's try stop sharing for a second again. Can you see the presentation here with some notes?
I see the presentation and I see the icons on the side as well, which it's on key information report page, first page.
So you don't see the slide change?
No, still on first page.
Well, that's interesting. Display settings. Let's try this. Yeah, slideshow, I guess. Can you see that there? Did that change for you?
It's still on the first page, but the screen kind of came on and off.
Todd's going down. He's going to help you out, Cameron.
You start the slideshow, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were. That's
Oh,
what
that's
we
a shame. It's still not working.
Yeah, so I was going into presenter mode, and it's coming up there.
It's not coming up here. Why is that?
And then when I change it, it's not happening. Yeah.
Jesus. I don't know that. I've never seen that before.
Can we just go
send me
slide
the
by
presentation?
slide?
Perhaps I can advance it. I'll try and. Can you email that? Okay.
Sorry about that, County Council.
It's all right. These things happen.
I'll,
Like
don't
to give
believe-
everybody 2 more minutes to decide what they're going to say, speak in favor or against.
While we're going through this process, I'm still waiting on Councillor Bergeron to join. I don't think I've seen her online yet.
I don't see her on, but
No.
We've just sent it over the presentation to Todd, so hopefully he can sort that out for us.
okay. So Councillor Fraser, a little rain there last night, helpful?
A little bit, but excuse me, it quickly dries up, with the heat of the bog.
Yeah.
But it does, it elevates the spirits, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Are the planes still there?
I'm sorry, it's the audio at my end is no good either.
The planes never got there.
No.
No.
Why?
Well, they couldn't fly, I guess, that first morning I'd heard, and then with the rain, they weren't needed.
That's right. Yes, exactly. The MNR field staff, he determined after surveying with SDG and SNC and our guys that it wouldn't really do a whole lot. They had to work the ground up and find the hot spots, a lot of physical effort.
Mr. Warden, if I may interrupt, sort of audio, can you see this slide now, and is it advancing?
We see the first page. I don't see anything advancing yet. There we go. We just
Oh,
did
there
it.
we go.
Meeting
Thanks,
objective.
Very good. So just if I may, Mr. Warden, perhaps Cameron, if you just want to let me know to advance the slides, and I'll go ahead and do that for you.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Todd.
Could we go to the third slide, Todd? Or sorry, fourth slide with the picture of the bridge looking down the South Nation?
Boating Pass Bridge.
Is this the slide?
No, I'm like
Next one.
it's building maybe.
All right.
Okay. So here's a snapshot looking downstream of the Cass Bridge as it spans the South Nation River. Next slide, Ted. The existing bridge is a 70-meter long 3-span structure that sits on 2 piers with abutments on deep foundations. The existing structure is a concrete deck spanning on 12 pre-stressed concrete girders. The 2023 OSIM assignment highlighted several structural elements that required repair and suggested that a rehabilitation be completed by 2027. Due to the size of the structure, staff did not want to miss the window and be forced into a structure replacement, so elected to take action and engage a consultant to begin the planning study that will lead into detailed design of the structure. Stantec was selected through competitive RFP to undertake the work and did submit the planning study with recommendations on the work to be undertaken. The rehabilitation is anticipated to bring the current structure another 25 to 30 years, which will meet and exceed its expected design life of 75 years. Next slide, Todd. As seen on this slide, the girder ends have seen some extensive damage from a leaking expansion joint. Once the expansion joint has been compromised, the salt will begin to find its way into the steel in these critical areas, leaving us with what's seen here. The selected rehabilitation would see us actually lift up the bridge, chisel away all this bad concrete, clean up the steel, and report a proper repair. From there, we would have a nice flat surface that we could set the bridge back down on new bearing pads. As part of this bridge rehabilitation, we will also install a semi-integral expansion joint, which will remove the metal armoring that you would see at the road surface with the seal, and it would basically completely house this area underground, making it near impossible for salt to get into these areas. Our plow drivers also much appreciate not having them to drive over. And next slide. So just a photo looking at the underside here. You'll see the deck edge soffit is showing quite a lot of bottom layer delaminations. As part of this rehab, we would also chip the deck edge off full depth, cast in some new steel for a new wall, and then re-pour that edge. Patching across the structure would also be completed as part of the work to address other areas of concern. So next slide. So another factor in staff seeking comment and direction from council are the financial implications of the project. The Cass Bridge is a costly project for us to undertake, with both dollar values exceeding $3 million. To complete the project in stage construction, it is estimated to cost $3.76 million, with under a full road closure being affording us a $640,000 savings through just efficiencies in the project. In 2025, SDG budgeted for 3 box culvert replacements at a total sum of $1.25 million. Staff would propose using some of these savings to do some additional box culvert work in 2026. Next slide, Todd. So if closed, SDG would look to implement a split detour to try and distribute traffic around the area. The goal would be to have SDG 43 and 7 loop be used as a southbound detour to reduce left-hand turns at the intersection of 43 and 7. Northbound traffic would be pushed towards SDG 5, 16, 3, and 38. If implemented, SDG would look to erect road closure signage on some local municipal roads to discourage traffic from these routes. When traveling on what would be a township detour, the time taken would be equivalent to taking the suggested county road detour due to where the crossings on the river are. SDG would work with local municipalities to ensure a collaborative effort is undertaken. We'll look to implement an enhanced traffic management plan where additional information signage along with speed reductions can be implemented at 7 and 43 intersection to reduce potential impacts of the additional traffic. So next slide. So when we reviewed the potential detour options, we kind of approached it as a person who's traveling SDG 31 from 7 to 43 would normally spend 7 minutes making that drive. If they are detoured around SDG 7 because of the road closure, that time would be 17 minutes to get from point A to B, with the difference in the two being 10 minutes added to the driver's commute. As seen in the table above, there's also time lost when we're waiting on a traffic light, which all depends on the time of arrival. With this table above, we tried to illustrate just how these differences in travel time can start coming down a bit when all the items are factored in. The northbound detour can get as low as 10 minutes difference, with the southbound detour getting as low as 7 minutes difference. Next slide, Todd. As stated in the key information report, there are very much positives and negatives to each approach to this project. Another item worth highlighting is the project schedule. Because this is such a long bridge for us and the scope of work is quite complex, Stantec's not confident that this can all be completed within one construction season. If we were to attempt to complete it all in one, we really run the risk of completing some of the key milestone items in cold weather and affecting the overall quality of the repair. Under a full road closure, we would be able to complete this project within one construction season. It is worth noting that regardless of the route chosen, the lane closure and road closures are both quite restrictive for agricultural equipment. If the closure is selected, the schedule would need to begin just after the half load season, with options for work to be completed in advance under a single lane closure. Next slide. One of the challenges we are coming up with, and it's worth highlighting, is the staging restrictions on the structure. In Stantec's attached memo, there's a narrow 3.2 meter lane projected for stage 1 of the project. As highlighted in the memo, there are a couple things at play here causing the reduced lane. The curb along the deck was once a raised curb and intended to be a traffic barrier. With the early 2000s overlay, it has since become an accessible driving surface. Stantec would like to see us push traffic away from the wall a bit so there's not consistent loading on that cantilevered section of the bridge. A buffer is to be provided for worker safety at the center line during construction as seen in the above photo. If council desires to maintain traffic, SDG would go back to Stantec and look at ways to increase the 3.2 meter lane, as that's a bit too narrow for the volume of traffic on SDG 31. Next slide. So SDG has consulted with both North and South Dundas Fire Departments to review the potential scenario of the closure. North Dundas Fire staff has advised that if they've reviewed the coverage area and are confident they can assign resources to minimize impacts to the service area. We did also engage SDG paramedic services to run the scenario. They did advise that it would be a service interruption, but they were confident they could provide a plan that would minimize impacts to the area. Next. So at this time, staff have not engaged in public consultation regarding the project. If council wishes, staff can arrange to set up a public information night in the future to seek feedback on the project. If this is the desired path with a report coming back to council, then we would likely push this to 2027 just based on the competitive construction bidding window we have kind of between November and January. So next slide. So I guess that brings us to our options for council consideration. So alternative 1 in our minds is close SDG 31 in 2026 to complete the required repairs while detouring traffic. This alternative has limited public engagement opportunities due to timeline, but saves an estimated $640,000. Alternative 2 would be to close the road in 2027 to allow for increased public consultation while detouring traffic. This alternative would allow for staff to engage the public prior to finalizing design while still realizing those savings on construction costs. And alternative 3 would be to leave one lane open and stage the project beginning in 2026 to reduce impacts on motorists. So next slide. So I guess with all that information regarding the Cass Bridge, we are curious to see what the feedback is from council and potentially get a sense of what direction everyone would like to proceed in. So we are here to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Can we go back to full screen, please? There we are. I can see everybody again. So I guess we're ready for questions for Mr. Brunel and Mr. Harper, or comments. Who do we have? Who's going first? Councillor Broad, I guess.
Okay, I thought Mayor Fraser might like to go first since the bridge is in North Dundas.
I appreciate that, but I'm still having struggles with my computer here. I don't see anyone else's face, so I can't tell if anyone else has put their hand up. I'm not sure if that's everyone or it's just at my end. But anyway.
Councillor Fraser, we can hear you.
I'll follow Councillor Broad if I may, Mr. Warden.
Okay, go ahead, Councillor Broad.
Yeah, thanks, Warden, and thanks for having this time. I kind of want to go in 3 areas, and I'll just make my comments and statements, and then Matt and Cameron, you guys, if there's some answers, that'd be great follow-ups. It falls into 3 categories for me. One is I really feel that we're somewhat being rushed into this decision. This is a major, 5,000 cars per day, county road that, a few weeks ago, a phone call to say, hey, we want to kind of talk about this, and then some conversations, and here we are doing a special meeting, by Zoom when it's not ideal for us to be in the room and talking it through, because I think there's a lot of challenges of the project and a lot of other ideas that could come forward. So I'm not pleased with the way the timeline has played out, which would want me to go with just option number 3, which is just delay this all to 2027, so we can do all the proper steps to lead into that. But with that being said, thinking about option to close the Cass Bridge completely. Concerns from my council team is, back to point number 1, we called a special council meeting Monday night just to go through this review to get input from council, where I couldn't do this in a regular meeting. And some of the conversations we had, were about, emergency services. It's really felt that is an impact. And we start thinking about, more of the ambulance side is which hospitals now are people going to from Riverside, because Winchester is now not the closest hospital if you're in Morrisburg or on the east side of Morrisburg. So that's a major impact, and that's going to be a concern for my residents. School bus routes, always a concern, not really talked about. Commuters to work, traveling through North and South Dundas obviously is important for us. Folks traveling to work, extending more time on the road, causing frustrations. I appreciate that the routing around may get down to 7-8 minutes, but I know, and I drive it, Mayor Fraser and I drive that road a lot. There's 10, 15, 20 cars in a row. And if you got to make 3 turns on County Road 3 and 5, and then at County Road 38, that's 30 cars lined up at a stop sign. That's 30 times you have to stop your car. Right. And those numbers could really accelerate. Ideal conditions, yeah, the route could be shorter. And certainly going through the summertime, tourism is a big factor. Folks that, Google or GPS routes and things that take longer than they normally would be, maybe would choose to go other places, including some small businesses. I talked to a resident this week, and they work in Ottawa, live in Morrisburg. Quite often when they're traveling through Winchester, they stop and buy gas, and they work an afternoon shift, and 50% of the time they buy their groceries at Foodland in Winchester. That would not happen for 9 months, right? So that's taken away an impact to our residents. On the flip side of that, why I'd also like to think about us delaying and having more conversations is we really don't know what the impact are going to be to the other county roads. So 5, 16, 3, 7, 43, as well as cars are definitely going to be taking other shortcuts through there for sure, especially locals, which is then going to impact certainly North Dundas's township roads. I would also like us to think about, which really wasn't in the project conversations, was other ways to accelerate the project. So by closing the bridge for a shorter period of time, spending that 600,000 that might save to make it faster. So can we get it less? Can we get the whole project to 20 weeks? Right? Is that applicable more for our residents? It's only been estimates versus quotings. Should we think about doing an RFP? Maybe there's other bridge companies that maybe have a great idea that just some initial thoughts we haven't thought about. Not sure. Also, you think about in the area, there are limited residents, and I'll leave this for North Dundas, extended work hours on that bridge because there are so few residents right in that typical area. Some other things we could really, really think about, because I do appreciate the challenges of the bridge and the width of the bridge and the work that has to be done. But I really want to make sure that we do what's right and really think this through.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to offer Councillor Fraser the next spot as it's in his township. Go ahead, Councillor Fraser.
Thank you. And I appreciate Councillor Broad's comments. I know we've had a chance to chat about that, and we did have a chance to talk to Matt and Cameron about this as well. I I think of the 5,000 vehicles and my trips to Cornwall and to South Dundas. Some of the things that Mayor Broad has talked, or Councillor Broad has talked about, hold very true for me. I do experience it. If I'm trying to quickly get to Cornwall and I'm traveling down 31 and I have 10, 15 cars in front of me and a tractor, I'm not going quickly anywhere and I'm not passing cars. And I can only imagine how much the shortest shortcut, and I guess that's why it's called a shortcut. The shortest of the shortcuts is more than 10 minutes. I believe it's a minimum of 10 minutes, unhindered 10 minutes. And it's 12K. That's the shortest one. The longest one, I don't think we have a firm number on that. It's I've heard estimates as the crow flies and everything else. But to Councillor Broad's contention, the stop signs, the turns, the harvest vehicles, the commercial trucks, all of those trucks being sent down 7 and into Chesterville, through Chesterville, out of Chesterville, down 43. To the intersection of 43 and 31. It may triple the length of time that some people have to travel. I know $640,000 sounds like a lot, but the impact on the one of the major, and we do know that that's been evaluated over the years when we talked about managing our snowplow routes in a different fashion. The monitoring was done, the traffic counts were done. We know that that stretch from South Dundas through North Dundas on County Road 31, Bank Street, is if not the most heavily traveled road in SDG. It's in the top 3. The impact to the commuter traffic from South Dundas is going to be immense. The impact to the shortcut road that I referred to, if you're coming from South Dundas, the shortcut in my mind would be Nesbitt Road, Forward Road, Nation Valley Road, River Road. A lot of that stuff, a lot of those roads are low quality, tar and chip, in fair enough repair for the low volume of residential traffic that takes place. And seeing as how that is the shortest route, it will be the route chosen by many. And the impact of that road, and I've mentioned to county staff, the impact of that road, who bears the brunt of that impact when that road is damaged? If there's a savings of $640,000, I'd be arguing strongly that that savings would be a large amount of that savings would be turned back into repairing the damage done to the township roads. And I know there's probably an argument that the township roads wouldn't be impacted as the detour would swing down county roads. You'd have to block the roads to prevent that from the local roads being traveled, because the other roads would be at least twice as long in time and more than that in distance. I'm challenged by being able to support one or two. I do understand and I do support the idea of more consultation, more public discussion, more opportunity for maybe those not in North, or maybe the other councils, to not be holding public meetings and getting more feedback from the residents. But I am sure that the residents of North and South Dundas would be very upset if they knew their detour was going to be upwards of 25 minutes just to travel, just to bypass a 1 kilometer bridge or 1 kilometer closure of the road. I'm supportive of number 3. I'm supportive of more time to discuss this and more of an understanding. If it needs to be that it's a full closure, I think North and South Dundas councils need to have more information, more opportunity to have discussion, and more support as from the to support the argument whenever we're faced with our ratepayers. Thank you, Mr. Warden.
Thank you. I did see Councillor McGillis' hand up, and now I'll go with Frank afterwards.
Yeah, hi. I know there's pros and cons to either keeping it open or closing it. The distance is a factor, and I do respect both mayors in that county, what their decision is too as well, being that it's in their jurisdiction. So, I mean, they're going to have to deal mostly with the public, as opposed that the rest of the county council will not have to. But you're looking at pros and cons, and the full closure is the fastest repair schedule as we see. My question is, how much more would it cost us if we did put it off for an extra year? And then my second question is, how much truck traffic is on that like per day on that road?
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
can-
either Matt or
The reason
Cameron.
why I'm asking this question is because we look at the alternative routes they're going to be taking if we do
Oh,
close
good.
it. So I just want to know how much damage would it cost? Would it affect the other roads, right?
Yeah, sure. So through you, Warden, Matt's going to take a look to see if we have the numbers for the percentages of truck traffic on County Road 31. In response to your question about the added cost if we did delay the project, it's likely just construction inflation. So it might be sitting around 8%.
Okay,
I
this is
think
good here.
we would be bringing forward other replacement projects. So I don't think there would be a significant increase because we'd be bringing other projects forward, which would have savings as well.
Mhm. But you look at closing it, like a full closure, the labor costs will be lower, mobilization costs, fewer days on site, fewer control staffs with less complex traffic management, less risk of accidental damage and passing vehicles, and sees, it's a lot safer for the construction workers too. But the
Yep.
thing is, you look at the cons part of it, and then it is that quite a ways that they have to reroute to get to A to B. So I guess it's not an easy task what decision council's going to make on this bridge because of the location where it is. So I'm ready to listen to other councilors what their thoughts are.
Yep.
All right.
And Matt, I did pull up the number, and the truck percentage was around 18%.
Okay,
So it's quite high.
it is significant. Okay, thank you, Mr. Warden.
Thank you. Councilor Landry. Sorry, Councilor, can't hear you. You're still muted. Still muted. There's a button there somewhere. No, still
Through you,
muted.
Mr. Warden, the meeting person hosting the meeting might be able to unmute him for you.
Oh, I
Mr.
can't.
Warden, I've made that attempt, but it's not functioning.
All right. Keep working on it. We'll come back to Councilor Landry in a minute. I had a message from a Councilor McDonald wanting to speak, but there's two of them, so I'm not sure.
Oh, that was me. If it's
All right.
or I see two other hands up, but so 7 months versus 9 months. I'm just going to go back and forth between my notes. That is something that concerns me for the drivers, because whenever you look at things, sometimes it's not just the length of time, it's how long you have to endure it. So I believe the construction being 2 more months is something that factors in, not just the route timings, because I'll have to be doing those route timings essentially for another 40 days, working days, that is. Additionally, we don't know how maybe the queue will be 2 or 3 queues. So like there would be potentially extra numbers there, because I imagine that's very well traveled. You might not release the full queue. One question I did have for administration was, and I'm looking at page, I think it's 17 or 18. I just have it on full view. At the bottom of Winchester, you'd have your northbound traffic turning left and your southbound traffic turning left. I believe if I've read this right, that's probably a bottleneck of sorts. And then if I go back to my notes, I also had some thoughts on if this costs more in 2027. It's likely more than 3 to 5% more, not a ton, but something to reflect on. And I think Councillor Fraser made a good point in that some of the small roads or township roads would be impacted. I would not be opposed that if we did the rushed, not the rush schedule, but the quicker schedule. That's what I'm in favor of. That there would be some remuneration given back down to the townships to maintain their roads. Because if we're saving 600 here, there would be a burden to those lower tiers. I don't know what that amount would be, but say it was like 250 to north and south. That means SDG saves, and both of the Dundasses are able to recoup some money, because at 18% truck, there would be some damage to some of those roads likely, because the local traffic would not probably go at that 17 to 25 minute mark. Thank you.
Councilor Mayo, did you want staff to address the bottleneck question?
If you may, because it might be something of a lack of knowledge on my part, but it was just a thought.
So, yeah, and through you, Warden. So the intersection I think you're referring to is what, 43 and 31, is that correct? And yeah, and so currently that is signalized. We would likely be choosing strategic locations to close the road southbound, close County Road 31 southbound. So all of that traffic would have a set of signals. We could look at timing for that to adjust, so traffic has extra time to make the left-hand turns, depending which way they're going through the detour route.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go to Councillor Landry. It looks like he's unmuted.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I apologize. My face is this tiny little, and I guess I had the fat finger syndrome. So anyways, my first question I think was answered, or Councillor McGillis brought it up. So I was thinking, if we do go to public consultation, still go to a full closure. I was wondering what the cost would be because of the 1 year delay. I know since COVID, it's been quite a drastic change in year after year when you're tendering. So that was my first question. And I believe from Matt or Cam's comment, they talked about 8% is sort of the construction. And then the second question is, or comment in regards to Councillor McDonald's comments about the compensation. I know you're opening up a can of worms if Public Works is deeming their route to be through county roads, understanding some are going to be taken, but it's hard to evaluate and to determine how we're going to work this, because I mean, road closures and detours happen all the time. Third question is the delay. There's not much time between full closure when you're looking at 2 months. So I understand the 600, but I guess I got to support the two mayors in their local municipality that have to deal with their residents and the traffic, especially being a 5,000 traffic count, to support that. That 600 easily could have been where we didn't have this meeting. We went to it half and half, and the cost was 37 versus 31. So it's something that I think is, I see both sides of it. I know the cost saving can go elsewhere, but at the same time, there's there's quite a bit of disturbance when it comes to the residents and those routes that they're choosing. So just again, comments on my part.
Thank you. Anybody else, or Councillor St. Pierre?
Thank you, Warden. I just had to figure out how to unmute there real quick. You know, I do support, obviously, I support Councillor Broad's comments that he said, and also support Councillor Fraser's comments as well. I mean, I still come back to the impacts overall to all of the users of that road. I understand that it may only be on paper. It suggests that it may be a 10-minute detour or a differential in the detour. But I do agree with Councillor Broad. I believe at the end of the day, that impact is going to be greater than just 10 minutes. I think it's going to be more like 15 to 17 minutes. I know we were going to look at the truck traffic count, but as a user of that road on a daily basis, twice a day going in and out of Ottawa, there's a large number of vehicles, transports that use that road, which again, if you're asking to Councillor Broad's comments, if you're asking somebody to stop 3 times, I mean, a transport it takes a little bit longer for a transport to maneuver around corners than it does vehicles, cars, and small trucks and vans. So I think that impact is greater than the 10 minutes. I think it's a 10 minutes per one vehicle going through, but not several vehicles. When I think about emergency services, again, comments were already said. I mean, if you think about number 2 and 31 Highway, they are the main thoroughfares to get to the Winchester Hospital, because there's no stop control. I mean, if you're going from Riverside to Iroquois, or Riverside, Iroquois to Morrisburg, there's a traffic circle, and you go up straight up 31 Highway. If you're now asking emergency services to detour through, let's say, the rural areas, well, there's stop controls there as well, which is going to impact, I think it's a greater impact to ambulance services and fire services. And maybe not so much fire services, because we strategically have different stations in different areas, so maybe it's not quite an impact, but I'm really concerned about the ambulance service getting to and from the Winchester area, or the Winchester Hospital. One of the things that was brought up from one of our councillors at South Dundas, who owns a trucking company, they've got major concerns with the rerouting. There is a lot of goods and services that come to and from Ottawa, and they've expressed some concerns with that as well. So again, I agree with the comments. I think if anything, we should be thinking our way through this a little bit more. I'm not in favor of a full closure. I just think that the impacts of the greater community is too great. It's not just, and I don't like to pick and choose, but we're not just talking about one impact to, let's just say it's just the ag community, or one impact to emergency service, or one impact to transport. It impacts everybody, and it impacts the people that are, again, just the general commuters that are going to and from Winchester to Morrisburg, or Ottawa to Morrisburg, just to go to and from their employment. So anyways, I support both mayors. I think we should get public consultation. I think the full closure is probably something I'm not in favor of. I know there's a cost implication, but I think overall, I think the impacts to the community as a whole is greater than a financial impact.
Thank you very much. Anything further? I just have a question for staff. If we do a full closure and it turns into 2 seasons, would it be open for the winter season, the full bridge? Could they work it out so they do 1 lane and then open the bridge for the winter and then do the other lane, or would we have the single lane for the whole winter?
Yeah, that would, through you, and that would be a conversation we would have with Stantec. Absolutely. Our hope and goal would be to open the full bridge through the winter so that our plow routes aren't impacted either. It's just, it's safer for everybody on traveling through, snowy season. So our goal and intent would be to keep it open through the winter.
Because it would make quite a difference if it's an actual 9 months of closure, or it's a 1.5 years of closure,
Right.
A one single lane rather than the closure. It would be quite a difference. Allison, I'm going to use your first name just because there's 2 Councillor McDonalds.
Fine, no problem. I was just wondering, can the large trucks make it through the single lane? You were mentioning that the agricultural vehicles probably can't, but I just wanted to confirm.
Through you, Warden, the 3.2 is extremely narrow. I don't have the exact dimension of a transport, it's about 10 feet. So you might have a few inches on either side. But through design, we would attempt to make that as wide as possible. So if you look at some of the staging drawings that were provided in either the report or the Stantec memo, there may be ways to adjust that slightly. It would be likely end up somewhere between the 3.2 and the 3.5.
Because my concern would be if you go with the 1 lane open in order to accommodate both people's commute times, but also try not to do all this damage to the alternative route, you might end up losing your cost savings on the full closure and still incurring all that cost with damage from agricultural vehicles and larger trucks. So that would be, I think, an important consideration on cost, or a double impact there.
All right, thank you. I have Councillor St. Pierre again.
Yeah, thank you, Warden. Just we actually posed that question to Councillor Vino again, who owns a trucking company, and he said the minimum width, although tight, would be 10 feet, which I believe is the 3.2.
Okay, thank you. Not seeing any more hands at the moment. A question that I will voice, I guess, is oh, I just lost my train of thought. I had a good question. It'll come back to me. Oh, I think I know what it is. Just we've talked about the idea of public consultation. Do we think by waiting a year and consulting more that we're going to get a different opinion? That it seems like the majority of people have spoken so far are in favor of one lane rather than full closure. Do you think is there any chance public's going to come back and say, no, we want full closure? I kind of doubt that myself. The public's going to be looking for the easiest commute they could get. So I'm just not sure if we're going to gain anything by waiting a year to hear the same thing that maybe we're already hearing. Can people kind of give me a little bit of just so we know if it's not even close, then we don't need to go on too much longer. How many people would be interested in keeping one lane open? Just give me a show of hands, please. One lane open. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can we ask the first question? Are we looking at prolonging this project and going to public, or the first question should be asked to council, or are we ready to either go one lane or closure at this time?
I don't have a problem with that. I will allow that. Okay, first question then is, do we want to delay a year and have more public consultations? If anybody that wants to delay and wait more public consultation, put your hand up. I got 3, 4.
Mr. Warden, I'm going to have to interrupt. I can't hear any clear audio from council members. I can only hear clear audio from staff. I've not been able to hear a full sentence or any conversation that I could comprehend from council. I'm not sure what question you're asking. This is not working for me. I think this needs to be held so that there's obviously a problem with the connection somewhere along the line. This needs to be held. This conversation needs to be held back in council chambers. I need to be able to have full participation, and I'm not able to. I'm not sure what the issue is, but definitely I do have an issue. Thank you, Mr. Warden.
Councillor Fraser, can you hear me well? Is my audio all right, or just staff? I'm thinking he can't hear me very well.
Councillor Fraser able to use his phone rather than trying to use the audio or the laptop to get the audio? This is a question for Todd.
And maybe they've tried that. I've seen he's had his headset on and then off, and they've been moving from different rooms. So I'm trying to assume they've tried different devices. What's the will here? Councillor Fraser, Township is impacted the most. What do people want to do here? He would obviously like to not make a decision this morning by the sounds of it. Anybody have any comments on that? Councillor McDonald?
Hello, Maureen.
If I may, I'll just wait. I don't want to have a conversation while they're having a conversation. So, okay, good. We can't hear Councillor Fraser. So I was going to say Councillor Fraser is clearly in favor of the one lane, whether that's in person or not. He might be feel more influential though in person. So I know where he stands, and I know he's pretty strong on that. So I would be okay taking a vote, but I'm also okay because I know the strength of his conviction.
It wouldn't, and it may end up that the vote is going to go in the way that they want it to go in. All right, so we had 4 that wanted to delay a year. How many would like to move forward for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right.
I'm sorry, Mr. Warden. What is the question? This is the first opportunity I've had to hear a full sentence.
Perfect. So I'm glad you can hear. What we were discussing.
I haven't heard the question though.
That's right. I'll repeat it for you. The question was, how many people would like to delay a year, or how many people would like to move forward this year? And this is not whether we open or close a lane, but just on, moving forward with a decision. And but we haven't asked about open or closed lanes. But I would like to ask that question now.
So please bear with me. I've missed so much of it. Is the question, the first question, is that just proposing more consultation, more understanding of the challenges of making a decision with one or a full closure?
Yes.
Okay, I'm supportive of number one.
Of making a delaying for a year. Is that what you're saying, Councillor Fraser?
No, bear with me. I hear myself.
If I may, Warden, Councillor Fraser, if it's going to be a full closure, then we need to delay and have more consultation. If we want to move ahead and have one lane, then we can move ahead. That's the struggle we're having answering this question. We can't, on this phone call, make a decision to move ahead in 2026 and have a full closure.
All right, so that's going to be simple. I'll ask that question right now, and if the decision is passed, then everybody's going to be in agreement. So, who would like to have one lane open and move ahead this year?
I hope you can see my hand.
I can see your hand and I can hear you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to leave one lane open. And staff can do whatever they need to do to start this process. And who knows, it may end up, but the council is supportive of North and South Dundas and keeping a lane open. We all good?
Thank you.
All right. Just so not to belabor it too much. Thank you very much, staff. I know it's a fair amount of money, but I do think it's not a huge percentage of the project. So I think maybe you know, the townships that know it the best have spoken, and I think we're supporting them for the most part. So I'm going to ask clerk for ratification bylaw.
That bylaw number 5512, being a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? I've got Councillor McGillis and Councillor McDonald from South Glengarry. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. And ready for adjournment, Madam Clerk.
That council adjourn to the call of the chair.
Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Fraser, Councillor Gaindall. All those in favor? That's everybody. Thank you very much, everybody. I know it was a tough meeting, but I think it was pretty much in agreement that we'll try to look after the public as much as we can and look after North and South Dundas's roads as much as possible. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Good luck, Councillor Fraser, with the fires. Let's hope there's more rain than you needed.